flight and swimming. Two of the main functions that you want to have in a dinosaur game, and what mainly makes up Dinosaur Simulator's functions. Flight and swimming hold the essentials for both PvP and survival, and arguably PvP players make up at least half of the game, and everybody's grown up to pretty much the same level of PvP. You press Q to fly up, you press E to fly down, space to stay hovered. That's just sky combat. Now on land, it's a completely different story, but today we're talking about the fundamentals of water and air. So you guys may be questioning what I'm talking about exactly. So a couple weeks ago, or a week ago, something like that, Dinosaur Simulator announced that they will be possibly changing the flying and swimming functions of the game. So I don't think we've seen a sneak of the water, but we have seen a sneak of the flying. So I'm going to pull that up right now. So as you can see here, Blame is using his Dinosaur, Hadidon, and he's flying. So you may think it looks normal until he dives down. So you can see when you dive down, you actually gain momentum, and it seems to be a lot faster than before. Now keep in mind, Blame's Dinosaur is also just insanely fast, like it's inhumanely fast. So this is not remotely close to how fast you'll be flying, but it shows you the, pickup of momentum compared to what we have now, which is just kind of stationary flying. So it would almost be more like Creatures of Sonaria, which is a big change from what we have now. So a lot of people are wondering what this will do to either the game or the game's PvP. So to answer that, we don't really know. No one really knows. I think I asked Blame and he said he didn't really know himself, but he said the same thing will kind of be like, hitboxes would stay the same and stuff, but we also have another one of Kaiju Sorrow here. So you can see this kind of shows a little bit more accurately how it would look for an actual dinosaur, and obviously bigger dinosaurs. So Kaiju Sorrow, obviously you could also see that he's holding S to go backwards. So I think if you're maybe hovered or something, you can go backwards. I don't know if Blame said this is how it's going to stay, but I'm not exactly sure how that's gonna work. I guess it would work for like PvP purposes, but I'm just confused on how chasing is gonna work and like running and stuff, because obviously I guess running is a part of realism. If you know you're outmatched, you're gonna run away, but it's gonna be a huge change for PvP and what would happen if you're to say low and you're a faster thing that could just glide away. So if this is really a make or break for this game, because they could either do this really good or they could do it, really wrong and kind of mess up the game's essentials and kind of what everyone's grown up with. Now, I know me and Blame have talked about in the past that a lot of people are holding on to nostalgia for the game, and they kind of just want to keep it as is and not really change the functions and whatever else, and kind of like just not progress, which is really unrealistic. But this is like a huge change compared to what we have now, like flying now. Like, let me go in game for anyone who hasn't played the game. All right, so let me actually just use Kaiju Sorrow itself so we can compare what we have now to what we could possibly be getting in the future. Now, obviously that clip that we were just looking at, it's not finished. I'm assuming it's nowhere near finished, but who knows? That could be like near the final product. No one really knows. Once again, I'm just a content creator, so I can't really give you guys like inside info, but this is the flying that we have now. So pretty much you just press Q and you start stationary moving upwards. So you can't look down to glide. This is like, you just press E to go down, and you just normally, go down in a slow motion. And E, Q and E works the same way. You either go up in a slow motion or you go down in a slow motion. Or you can press space and you have no option of going backwards, sideways, whatever. I don't know if there's going to be a sideways motion when he adds that thing into the game, if they add it into the game. Because if it's too controversial, I doubt they'll go through with it. But once again, they can't just hold on to nostalgia, because people want it. If they want to further their game's progression, they would have to make such changes. It just depends on if they do it good or not. But I feel like for a lot of the community, this is like a make or break for the game. I know I've already said this, but PvP as it is right now, for flying at least, is like, it's already set in stone that people already know how to PvP, and even new players, it's kind of easy for them to get into, kind of. Not really like the PvP, but the flying, at least. I guess, the flying, like Creatures of Sonaria and pretty much any other game that has flying, it wouldn't be a bad addition, but for PvP, it would just be a lot for people to get used to, much like the climbing. Now for swimming we actually don't have a clip of, or if we do, I don't have it. So we could check it out now. It's pretty much the same thing as flying, but I'm assuming that the swimming would probably have the same thing as the new flying, probably just, you know, gliding downwards and maybe sideways swimming. You know, I wouldn't mind sideways swimming in the future. Or actually, no, you can't swim sideways. I don't know what I'm talking.
Stupid.
So I don't know if the water, you would just be like able to glide downwards and like kind of just move more freely. I don't really know what they're planning to do with that exactly. But you can see the swimming right now, you kind of just press Q and E and you could just go at a neutral line. So you don't really make any changes in your inclination in swimming unless you're going down or up per se. So it's really how it's been for years. So it kind of makes you wonder, like, if they go through with this change, what would happen? And like, would players leave? Would players stay to see out the new addition to movement? It really makes you wonder, because I mean, you could say the same thing about Call of Duty, how they made like that little like where you could like 360 jump or whatever, and I mean they still have players, but a lot of people I heard didn't like it. So I'm just wondering how this game would like it. Obviously it's not really comparable in any way. One's a shooter and one's a dinosaur game. But I'm just trying to imagine how swimming, especially the flying though, the flying is like the main part. Because obviously not many people use swimmers, but flyers on the other hand, they're like a big part of either wars or just gameplay in general. We don't even have to be talking strictly for people who do wars. We could just be talking about like people who play for survival features or like anything else. Or, you know, just fighting because you have to fight. It would be a lot to get used to, even if you're just like protecting yourself. So I don't know how it's gonna do for the game. Obviously, once I said again, you know, if we take it back to Discord, like I said, we sadly don't have a clip of the new swimming, so that kind of sucks. But I'm assuming that they wouldn't really stray too far away from what they're doing with the flight. It's just, I feel like it's gonna be a lot to get used to if and when they do add it. It just looks like, it looks so much different from what we have now. And I know the people of the community are also thinking that as well. Like, I don't know. You guys are gonna have to let me think, or let me know what you guys think. Because, you know, obviously this game is relying on your guys' feedback and like your player count. So they gotta listen to the community, you know, whether they like it or not, sadly. But yeah, that's really all I had to say. This is like, in my opinion, probably one of the biggest controversial updates this game might get. You know, obviously they haven't rolled this out yet and they haven't really talked about it much either from what I've seen. They only have these 2 clips. But yeah, that's really it. That's all I really wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to get like some feedback from you guys and like opinions. So maybe they look at this video and be like, okay, maybe we can improve on X, or maybe we can hold back on Y. You know, just stupid stuff like that. But all right, that's really it. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
We